What's good, YouTube? We're gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna see what's up with the Diddy case, man. A lot of stuff been going on. A lot of facts been, or a lot of stuff been hitting the social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is you see it on. So I decided I wanted to take a little bit of a closer look to see what's going on in this situation. I heard he got 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's everybody heard that. What else? I heard that, he got a tunnel under his bed or in his bedroom or something like that. He got a tunnel in his bedroom that like leads to other celebrities. I also heard that it leads to the Playboy Mansion house or something like that. I heard all types of stuff. I heard that Jay-Z and them involved with it. All this and that. All this and that. So basically, I don't know anything. I don't know nothing about this. And honestly, I don't even know if I do want to know. That's the truth about it. I don't know if I actually want to know. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just get into this and see where it takes us, bro. Diddy, man. Bro did some wild stuff.
As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order.
Wow.
And I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
We may be hearing from the attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs a lot less as we move toward a trial in his sex trafficking case. In court Thursday, we learned more about his defense team's push to exclude a damning piece of evidence. We learned about the trial date, the evidence found inside the hip-hop mogul's mansions, and the support that he is getting from his family.
And about that, bro, his family, like, what will y'all be doing if this is y'all dad in the situation? Like, do you think his kids know? Do you think some of his kids know? Or do you think some of his family know? For him to be hosting a party like this big and stuff like that, it's no way it was hidden to the point to nobody knew about it. There was people that knew about this. Like, even though thing I said that they found a tunnel in his house, his family was like, no, don't go down there. I heard stuff like that. So they had to know. Maybe not everybody, but somebody.
We got a
Somebody
full recap
knew.
of the court proceedings and a lot more. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, it's been more than 3 weeks since Sean Diddy Combs, one of the
3 weeks
richest
already?
and most influential rappers in the world, was locked up in New York on federal charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Prosecutors in the Southern District of New York say that Combs used that money, power to force people to do his bidding with a heavy focus on what has been dubbed the freak-offs. These are described as elaborate, lengthy sexual performances that allegedly involved the hiring and transportation of commercial sex workers, the administration of drugs. Witnesses allegedly told the government that sometimes Combs would
Who the fuck lips are these? Why is it so close to the camera? What, bro?
participate in these sex sessions. Other times he would just watch and pleasure himself. But these orgies were almost always recorded and saved, maybe for Combs to watch later, maybe for potential blackmail. Hey, so I know I always say this, but look, it is our privilege to be able to bring you these kind of stories. And I want to thank one of our great partners who helps make episodes like this possible, Upside. And Upside is actually the
All right, bro, get your money, but it ain't my money, so you know how that go.
25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. Well, what we're going to talk about now is the fact that Combs and his substantial defense team, they were back in court on Thursday in front of yet another new judge, Arun Subramanian. He is going to be the judge presiding over Combs' trial as of now. And by the way,
Why they keep zooming in
Anyone
on
with
this man's
$10,000
lips?
or more in credit card debt or personal loans may.
That's my question. Why they keep zooming in on this man's lips? Because I don't know why his lips was in front of the screen like that. That's the real thing. Oh, I didn't know it was ready to skip.
scheduled for May 2025, which we're going to talk about. Now, I got to call this out. There's no recording equipment allowed in New York's federal courthouses. There are no cameras.
Of course not.
It is annoying. Trust me, I could talk all about this. But anyway, that's why we haven't seen video of Sean Combs in court or heard audio of him speaking to the judge. But we did have a correspondent in the courtroom. We're going to hear that in just a moment. But here's another thing to note. A lot of people are asking, why didn't they discuss the issue of bail this week? Well, we know there was a petition filed for a third crack at it, but that is not with this court. That's actually going on simultaneously in the Court of Appeals. This is a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. They're going to decide
Should bro
if
even
Combs
get a
should be
bond
granted bail. Now, Combs' attorney, Alexandra
or
Shapiro,
bail?
filed a motion for pretrial release earlier in the week with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and Shapiro opened the motion by writing, "This case does involve extreme and unusual circumstances, but none that typically foreclose bail or warrant forcing Sean Combs to defend himself from a prison cell." What is extreme and unusual about this case is that Mr. Combs was detained immediately after he was charged, even though he has been in the spotlight his entire life, with many of his purported antics and episodes being widely reported in the press and known to law enforcement authorities. Indeed, hardly a risk of flight, he is a 54-year-old father of 7, a U.S. citizen.
All right, that little hardly a risk of flight. He a 54-year-old father of 7, a U.S. citizen. You can't say that about somebody who got money, bro. It don't matter what their age are. It don't matter how many kids they have. We know Sean Diddy Combs got money, bro. Bro got money. If he really wanted to run and take all 7 of his kids, he could run and take all 7 of his kids without a problem. Without a problem. 54, he not old. 54 and he's still at freak offs. 54 and he's still at freak offs. Think about that. He hosting them. So he ain't old enough to get he's not too old to get his freak on. If he ain't too old to get his freak on, he ain't too old to do anything else, bro. Bro is still at it. So he a normal person. Not even, bro. Because if he doing this stuff, he ain't nothing normal, bro. Ain't nothing normal.
An extraordinarily successful artist, businessman, philanthropist, and one of the most recognizable people on earth. The sensationalism surrounding his arrest has distorted the bail analysis. Mr. Combs was not released pending trial, even though he offered to comply with restrictive conditions that would have prevented any conceivable risk of flight or danger. And talking about that, Combs, by the way, had offered a $50 million bail package, putting up his Miami home and his mother's home as collateral. He promised to stay in close contact with authorities, only speak to certain people, even offered to have a third-party security team to monitor his house if he should be under home confinement. But 2 different judges denied him bail, so Combs has been behind bars since September 16th at the Metropolitan Detention Center out in Brooklyn.
And if guilty, that's where he should belong.
One of the reasons that was cited for keeping Combs locked up is his alleged influence and reach, because prosecutors claim that Combs had engaged in witness tampering and possible intimidation. His legal counsel says that is not true. They concede he spoke with people about the civil lawsuits that he was facing, but say he wasn't aware that the Southern District of New York was investigating him. And once he did realize he was being investigated, the appeal motion says he made sure to stop contact with these people. The motion reads, although the government vaguely described contacts with 2 grand jury witnesses, it proffered no evidence of any threats or intimidation. The government could only state there were 14 total contacts between Mr. Combs and 1 witness and another witness who was contacted multiple times. Defense counsel explained these contacts involved no obstruction.
Why they don't say what was said?
For example, 1 witness contacted Mr. Combs, not the other way around. She reached out to Mr. Combs and told him, "I'm a grand jury witness." After Mr. Combs informed defense counsel, he was instructed not to contact the witness anymore and didn't. And Shapiro argues that the prosecution didn't meet its burden to hold Combs until trial. Days later, there was an update that was filed with the court saying it is hereby ordered that the motion for bail is referred to a 3-judge panel. The request for immediate release pending decision on the bail motion by a 3-judge panel is denied. The motion to seal is granted. So basically, Combs can't be released immediately. They have to wait until the judges hear the arguments and then they'll decide on what to do.
Let's get into
now,
the
there was no
interesting
information
stuff,
provided when that might happen or when the case is going to be heard in court, but we'll continue to follow it. All right, so now we're going to talk about Thursday's hearing for Combs' criminal case. And again, he's charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution.
We heard
the core
that.
accusation, again, is that Combs used coercion, intimidation, force to get people to participate in these freak-offs. So to talk about everything, I want to bring in criminal defense attorney Natalie Whittingham Burrell, who I love having here on Sidebar. Her window is making her look extra angelic today. She was sent from the heavens to talk about Sean Combs. So good to see you.
See you, Jesse. Thank you for having me.
Bro ain't slick. He trying to get some. He see a black woman and he trying to holler. He like, ooh, I like me some dark chocolate. Let me go get some. That's what he trying to do. He talking about how the window got her looking all extravagant, got her skin shining and glistening and stuff like that. Man, he trying to get him a black woman. You ain't slick. Listen.
Bar. Her window is making her look extra angelic today. She was sent from the heavens to talk about Sean Combs. So good to see you.
See you, Jesse. Thank you for having me on.
I ain't gonna keep pausing. I'm gonna just talk during the video because
I want to start there
it's
before we even
long.
talk about what happened Thursday. Does he have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raise good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation. And so when you have this dangerousness assessment, it's not just a danger that you will harm people or harm yourself, but a danger that you will interfere in the how they conduct the case. And those were good arguments. I did not know that after
Trading is not for everyone.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If we don't get into like the real hard facts, not facts, but like get into the stuff for real, I might end this video a little bit short. Cause I don't know why, not why, but like I'm trying to get into it, bro. Tell me the
they were
evidence.
grand jury witnesses, he had no further contact with them, and that when the contact was happening, it was more in relation to the civil cases. I don't know how they're going to prove that up at the hearing, but that is a good rebuttal to the prosecution's argument that he was contacting grand jury witnesses, because it is unique that there's a civil and a criminal case that are multiple civil cases and one criminal case that are tracking along the same time frame. So
Hold on, I know I said I wasn't gonna pause it, but this probably gonna be one of the last times. With this being said, they saying like, oh, tempering, you know, he can contact the witnesses, threaten them and stuff like that. Do y'all really think Diddy smacked Drake, Pop, Biggie and Tupac, and Michael? Like, do y'all really think he did all these things? Do y'all really think, bro's living a double life, triple life, quadruple, bro living life basically in many different ways that nobody knows. Is somebody capable of doing all these things without being known about it for this and being this big of a light, like this big, you know what I mean? His position to be in this position for this long and not nothing being said or anything like that. Is this really possible? And if it is possible, how many other people are in position like this and who is doing worse or similar things to this as well? Like, for real, think about it.
it's a good argument. I'll admit it's a
Exactly. Thank you.
really good argument.
And it makes me believe that maybe his attorneys didn't have that full information when the issue of bail came out, but they've been speaking to Sean Combs seemingly every day or consistently about what's been going on. So maybe they got that information from him. I guess somebody might be looking at this and saying, you know what? They have a point. The government hasn't necessarily proven that Sean Combs was reaching out to witnesses or contacting them.
That's why I said, show me the facts.
The standard to get him locked up is lower. You don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I think it's clear and convincing evidence, right? So explain to our viewers, is it right that the government can lock somebody up just by making an allegation that they've been intimidating witnesses without proving it necessarily?
It's America.
Yeah, so that's the difficult thing about these bond review hearings, and that all of us criminal defense practitioners have to make. And that is that the prosecution can just make allegations about our clients without much proof other than the allegation. And the judge will then turn to us and say, well, what's your response to that? And that does kind of put us on the back foot.
Her
where we
eyeliner
have
throw it
to
off.
prove something that's not our burden to prove,
Just
right?
look.
So it is a very low standard. They really just need to make the allegation. But many times when the defense can come with something to rebut it, that helps to kind of even the playing field. But
You see what I'm saying? It looked like her left eyeliner thicker than the other one. I don't know makeup, anything like that. But I'm just saying.
the prosecution definitely has the advantage when it comes to pretrial detention of criminal defendants.
Okay, now I want to talk about what happened yesterday. And
Thank
there's
you.
a lot to
Let's
talk
get
about.
into
So
it.
this was at the Southern District of New York, again, in front of this new judge, Arun Subramanian, and we now know when this case could go to trial. A date has been set, maybe I should say tentative date has been set for May 5th, 2025. That was what was decided on, with several pretrial conferences planned between now and then. Natalie, is Combs hedging his bets here? In other words, if he feels he can't get out of jail now and he doesn't want to be there, let's try to get to trial as soon as possible.
Should changes for criminal defendants depending
I
on
would.
where they are. So a criminal defendant who is out a lot of the times is okay with things taking their time, doing full investigation, not rushing to the end of the race. Whereas if you're incarcerated, you're trying to get out of there as soon as possible. And so I'm sure that he wants the quickest possible date. However, given the amount of evidence that there is in this case,
How does man hairline change in multiple different pictures, bro? Like, I don't know which one is the older Diddy or which one is the what I mean by older, I'm talking about older in age, or which one is the young Diddy. I can't tell, bro. I can't tell if it's receding or it's gaining. Like, what's going on?
discovery investigation that needs to be done on the defense side, I would gamble that May 2025 would be too early of a date for a case of this magnitude. It probably will take them longer.
Oh, I'll get to the discovery in a minute, but what happened? So he just came on the record, his attorneys came on the record, May 5th, Your Honor, this is what we want. What happens if the Second Circuit Court of Appeals says he's released, pretrial release, he's granted bail? Can he then turn around and say, that May date, I don't really want to go to trial in May 2025, May 2026? Can he turn around and push for a longer time, or is that going to look very transparent about why he's doing it? Because essentially, I've always said, I think he came to New York. I think he's been as cooperative as possible because I thought he thought he can make bail. I'll be on home confinement for 1 year, 2 years. I'll push this trial out as long as possible until I actually have to go to trial where possibly can get convicted. So what happens if the Second Circuit says he's granted pretrial release? Can he turn around and say, you know what, I want to push the trial date longer?
Good cause to continue a trial. And good cause is a pretty low standard, but courts guard trial timeliness very passionately. So you don't want to make a transparent request of, I'm out now and I don't want to see this thing through. So can we move this to the next year? You have to have some other reason. Hey, we need this expert. This
Right.
witness is unavailable for the trial date. They're going to have to be a bit more artful than that.
I get it. And they could say, look, the discovery is more than we thought. I get it. They can make those arguments. I guess the question is, from another point of view, does it show that they feel confident in their defense right now, where they're putting their feet to the prosecution? I mean, they're putting the prosecution's feet to the fire. They're saying, we're ready to go. They said we're going to have 1 week to.
Hey, want to know how?
God, leaders, bro. Why this video got so many ads? Damn.
Which I think a fair argument would be, it's going to be a majority of them cross-examining the state's witnesses, maybe calling a few sex workers to say everything was consensual. They feel confident, no, that they can get an acquittal, because what's the end result? We're going to rush to trial where he might get convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison. That's not good for them. So doesn't it seem like they feel confident in the case? The defense, I mean.
I don't necessarily think that's what it means. I think that sometimes it's trying to rush your case to trial as quickly as possible is a strategy to catch the state off guard. So you got to remember, or the federal government here, the government has the burden of proof. They have the burden to prove the case. So they're the ones that have to scramble to get all their witnesses and evidence together by May 2025. And maybe they won't be able to, and so maybe they won't be able to prove their case if they rush the case as soon as possible. That has less to do with we're confident in the defense case and more to do with we're trying to game and strategize so that.
So, bro, basically, we're not even getting into it for real right now. We're not even getting into it for real. Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm gonna let it go a little bit more.
The prosecution won't be ready to prove their case up.
What happens if he's hit with additional charges? What happens if he's hit with a superseding indictment? There's no way this is going to May, right?
A superseding indictment would mean that the case gets continued because there's more discovery that has to come about, and the government will be given more time to be prepared.
Man,
Now,
show me the
one thing the
Carfax.
prosecution has uncovered about inside the courtroom yesterday, and that was discovery. So everything the prosecution has uncovered that is relevant to this case has to be turned over to the defense, vice versa. So there's a level playing field. Everyone's pretty much working off the same set of facts. And Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson told the judge that the prosecution team is working its way through a huge amount of electronic information. She says 96 electronic devices were seized in the March raids on Combs mansions in Miami and Los Angeles. Its way through a huge amount of electronic information. She says 96 electronic devices were seized in the March raids on Combs mansions in Miami and Los Angeles, as well as a private Florida airport. Of those, 8 of the devices in Miami
Hey, what's
had more than
HSI?
90 terabytes of information. Think about your phone. You have 2 terabytes of information on the cloud, so 90 terabytes of information. Johnson called that extraordinary, pointing to a reason for some of the discovery delays. What do you make of that, Natalie?
Yeah, that's trying a criminal case in the modern times. A lot of evidence is on electronic devices, cell phone, tablets, computers, things of that nature. And the devices, especially if you have like external hard drives, and 90 something terabytes of data on a single device makes me think it's some type of hard drive.
98 terabytes? Bro, that's a lot. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I didn't catch that at first. But that is a lot, bro. Especially for the people that play games, bro. You know how much that is, man. You know how much it costs just to buy like a device that's 1 terabyte? You know how much it costs just to buy that? Now times it by 98, bro. And we ain't putting no video game on there that's 124 gigabytes. Bro, we probably putting on a 6-hour film of a party that probably totals out to about the same storage space a video game would take, like a GTA 5, like 150 gigabytes or something. That is insane. Because in order to get that high, it got to be like hours of footage, man. In a non-weird way, I want to see what's on the footage.
That takes weeks to go through just for one device on its own. The Celebrite extractions that we have in our county are just voluminous. And so if you have multiple devices, which again, once you print out all the data, it's about 30,000 pages per device for a smaller device. That lets you know that it's going to take a long time for the prosecution to go through it, to do their review, because they have to review it before they hand it over to make sure that it is what they need to hand over and that it doesn't have breeding material in it, things like that. And then the defense has to review it, and the defense has to decide whether or not they need additional information based on what they've reviewed. So that can take months and months and months if you're only dedicating your time to looking at the discovery in this case.
Yep, absolutely. And there's another point of this hearing, besides the discovery, which, again, was extraordinary. This other point I wanted your opinion on, there's a point of contention during the hearing, and it involved the assertion from the defense that someone from Homeland Security had leaked the now infamous video of Sean Combs purportedly beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, in a hotel hallway in 2016. CNN, as you might recall, aired that video, published that video in May, 2 months after the raids on Combs' homes. And his lawyers say that that video and other alleged leaks have led to damaging, highly prejudicial pretrial publicity that can only taint the jury pool, deprive Mr. Combs of his right to a fair trial.
I've heard about stuff like that. No, I'm letting finish.
Prosecutor Johnson fought back, telling the judge that the claims were baseless and simply a means to try to exclude a damning piece of evidence from the trial. And she added, not a single one of those alleged leaks are from the members of the prosecution team. Natalie, how do you think that shakes up?
All right. I'm going to say this before she even starts talking, bro. I've heard of a court doing that. You know, they'll drop stuff out there before the trial, make it seem like it's not them. It's just somehow this stuff is now starting to see the day of light. You know, now that he's starting to get eyes on them, starting to get this stuff on them, starting to get sued and stuff like that, now stuff is starting to come out. And normally it's coming out because somebody who has the, you know, I'm not saying Nah, bro, the government probably do plan on dropping stuff just so they can get the public eye on their side. You know, because once you get the public on the side some more, the judge the judge on the case got to think about on how they rule and stuff like that. Because if all the facts come in and then they still say, "Oh, he innocent," outrage, outrage, and they going crazy, and they most likely gonna either attack Diddy or the judge. You know, it's just that's how it goes. Why ain't it focus? Hello? We good? Yeah, we good now. I don't know why I just got unfocused like that, but I don't know. I don't know, bro. But still, they gotta be careful about this case all the way around it, bro. I think I'm about to stop this, honestly. God damn.
Online.
Another one, bro. You know what? Let me know if y'all want me to continue this video, bro. Honestly. Let me know if y'all want me to continue this video or if y'all want me to continue this case in general. Cause I really don't think they talking about nothing on this one. They really just talking about the court hearing. And really at the court hearing, they don't be talking about nothing for real. They not talking they don't got the jury inside, none of that. So they not really discussing anything for real. Ain't nothing really being talked about. But if y'all want me to keep following a little bit more, I will. But it gotta be some cold hard stuff. I'm not here just to watch them have a live date on the internet and call it let's talk about Diddy case. Like, you know you want to take Shawty out, so take Shawty out and don't have us involved with it, basically. But nah, bro. For real, just let me know if this is what y'all want to see and I'll keep doing more. But other than that, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. So drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe for your boy and click the bell. And I'm gonna catch y'all next time, bro. Peace.